Okay, so this looks like the gas hose that you plug into the back of it. So that's a good start. All right, this is a foot pedal. Awesome. All right, so one thing worth noting is that this welder is the 205DS. Looks like this comes with a wire brush. Awesome. Very pokey. 110 to 220 adapter. So it looks like it runs on both. So that's cool. Here's the regular 110 outlet. All right, so there's the cups. And it comes with a short tungsten holder. This is pretty cool. All right, so this is neat. This is a handheld torch switch. So this is the torch. We'll put all these together in a minute. But normally, a lot of TIG welders will only have a foot pedal. This one looks like it has both the foot pedal and the finger control. Now, I've never even used a TIG welder that has a finger control, so this will be kind of fun to learn. And then, of course, the other end is where you plug it in, and then we get the gas. All right, this looks like the ground. Yep. All right, so here's the ground wire. Looks like it plugs in like most TIG welders where you push it in and turn it 90 degrees. This is the ground clamp. Feels pretty strong, that's good. This is for stick welding. All right. So yeah, this is the clamp to hold the stick welders. It looks like the back has a fan, gas inlet, on-off switch. Then we got a protective cover, which is cool. Looks like a power dial, arc versus TIG, and then we got the inlets for the torch and the gas and the stick welder and stuff. All right, let's plug it in and see what it does. So this is the torch, and this is actually pretty cool because, as I mentioned earlier, this thing can be taken off and you can put this one in its place. And that's really helpful if you're doing something in a tight space. Like, one thing that comes to mind is, like, if you're doing a roll cage on a car, then you're in a really tight space and you don't always have room for this long, giant stem. So you can use a shorter one. Obviously your tungsten has to be shorter too. You can't have a huge long tungsten, but it's nice to have that option if you're working in tight spaces. It's also nice that it comes with the different size cups. So here's a size 5 cup. And then right here, it looks like we have size 4, which then means this one must be size 6. One thing I wanted to mention is that when you weld for the first time, you're gonna need a welding gas tank. And for me, I'm using 100% Argon, and that's what I use most of the time when I'm TIG welding. You'll also need a pressure regulator for the tank. Now, this is just one that I had kicking around. It's not my favorite style. And normally these regulators have 2 gauges on them, and they have a dial on the front that you can adjust the pressure with. And another thing to note is if you buy a tank for the first time, there's usually a deposit on them. So maybe you'll pay like a $100 deposit and then you have to pay to fill it for the first time. And the fill is, at least at this moment, it's around 35 to 50 bucks, depending on the size of the tank. And you'll hold on to that tank until you need to refill it again, which then you'll pay the $35 to $50 again. If you ever quit welding or you move across the country and you just want to return the tank, you'll get your deposit back. And then, you know, you break even again. So you end up only spending money on the gas and you have that deposit of the tank. Okay, we're gonna take a quick detour here for just a second. Now, this is a 20-ton hydraulic press, and when you buy one of these presses, at least the one I bought, this handle comes in 2 pieces. And this handle is meant for pumping up the hydraulic press. And then it has the little notch on the bottom that allows you to release the pressure on the hydraulic pump. But the problem is it's 2 pieces. And honestly, it never should have been. Like, this piece should all be one piece in here, and I'm not entirely sure why it's not. Maybe somebody out there smarter than me can tell me why this came in two pieces. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld these two together, and I'm gonna use this new welder to do it. And I'm gonna put a little T-handle on the end of it, like this. So that will make it nice and easy to turn this, but also allow me to pump the hydraulic. And that gives me a little tiny welding project, super easy to do, relatively thin metal, and we'll see how the welder performs. So let's get back to the welder. All right, that is way too much heat. This is working pretty great, to be honest. So you can see it's nice and hot. It's definitely TIG welding, and it's actually really smooth. All right, so now that we get that done, let's switch to the finger control on this torch and see how that goes. So here is what it looks like. As you can see, it's welded all the way around. Not the prettiest welds I've ever done, but you know what? I've never used the finger control either, and I'm also not a professional welder, I'm just a guy. We've now welded up the middle, so let's take the T-handle and pop it on the top and weld that all the way around, and then we'll get some final impressions. Now here's the T-handle all welded on. Let's get a closer look. You can see I welded it all the way around. And, well, it's not on there very straight. It's not terrible. But the important thing is the welder actually performed flawlessly. I have zero complaints about the actual welding quality of it. It worked really well. Now, I haven't stick welded for maybe 20 years, but guess what I just got? That's right, stick welding stuff. So, let's try to make a pass with a stick welder, and we'll see what the heck happens. So I've got the stinger, which I believe these are called, in this port, and then I have the ground in this port. Now, I'm not sure if those are set up right, but we're gonna plug it in and see what happens. All right, so, flick the switch. Gonna flick it to arc weld. We're at 97 amps, might as well go 100, right? Let's just see what happens. Oh, a little touchy. Oh, so close, there we go. Hot dang. That's some arc welding. So I have now chipped off the slag and brushed it with the brush that comes with the welder. And you can see there are a couple of welds here. They're not the prettiest because I haven't welded in 20 years, but that is no fault of the machine. It undoubtedly did heat up the metal like red hot, and it definitely welded as I would expect. So let's get back to the machine and we'll see what we've learned. All right, so after all that, we learned a few things. It's definitely super light and super portable. It TIG welds great, and it stick welds great. It works off 110 or 220. It comes with a brush for brushing your slag, and it's got a little tiny hammer thing on the other side, which is pretty fun. Now, one thing worth noting on this welder is that the torch and the foot pedal both have on-off switches. Now, that might be obvious, but some welders actually come with a variable switch. And the variable switch allows you to actually vary the amperage that you're putting out the torch as you're welding. So if you get to a thin piece of metal, you can actually back off of the foot pedal and it will do less amperage coming out the torch. Now, this welder does not have that option. It is just an on-off switch. So if you set this to 100 amps, you're getting 100 amps out the torch. And if you're doing 50 amps, you're getting 50 amps out the torch. It doesn't actually vary no matter how much you push the button or the pedal. Now, that is not a deal breaker for me, at least, because if you've never TIG welded before, you're not going to know the difference between a variable switch and what this has, which is the on-off switch. This works totally fine, and after about 5 seconds of using it, I could use it and it wasn't an issue whatsoever. But I just wanted to point it out because it is something that's different from welder to welder. Now, one gripe that I have with my normal TIG welder that I use is that it weighs like 275 pounds, which is absurd. This one does not. As you can see, I'm not exactly a bodybuilder, and I can lift this up no problem. I can take it and go run around my lawn with it if I wanted to, which means it is super easy to pack up in your trunk and bring it to your friend's house to weld their junky cars. So if you're looking for something portable that also TIG welds, this is pretty awesome. That being said, it doesn't weld aluminum. It is meant for doing steel and stainless steel. Now, I didn't actually test it on stainless steel because I didn't have any stainless steel hanging around. But I did test it on steel, which is what you saw, and it worked fantastic. So if I had to give some sort of criticism of this, I would say it would be great if it came with a regulator for the actual tank. Some welders do, some welders don't. It's totally normal for the welder to not come with one. But I know I have broken a handful of regulators by tipping over tanks or bumping into them and stuff. So it would just be a super nice bonus if it came with a regulator. The other thing that I think could be a little bit better is the hose on the end here that goes to the regulator. It's pretty stiff. So since I'm working in an unheated garage in New England, it gets pretty cold out here. And when you're working in a cold environment and you're also working with kind of a stiff plastic hose, it just kind of wants to go in every direction but the one that you want it in. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much. This is the first product review that I have ever done, and I'm really excited that it got to be on a TIG welder because I love TIG welding. I am not a professional welder by any stretch of the imagination. I am just a car guy that likes to weld stuff. So anyways, this was really exciting for me. Thank you YesWelder.com for actually sending this to me. If you're watching out there, feel free to check out their website. There will actually be a link in the description so you can go check it out. And be sure to subscribe, like, leave a comment, let me know what you think. And hopefully I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much. Have yourselves a wonderful day.